All right. Hello. Good morning, everyone, and then welcome again to Focus and Interact, powered by Abeyie Innovation Studios. So my name is Bonsu Schmutz, and I'm excited to host today's session once more. We had a fantastic time on the International Women's Day, speaking with one of the very renowned women in technology in Ghana. Today, we're having another extremely wonderful personality who is joining us. And recently, she's been recognized, for the work she's doing in STEM across the world. So I'm going to be introducing her in a bit. But Focus and Interact is the talk show powered by Abeyie Innovation Studios. It's something that we created to engage in conversation, to enable us get some new ideas, some new feedback on some of the products and projects that we work on and we innovate around. And so join in the conversation wherever you're connecting with us. Welcome, and feel free to use the comment section, whether on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram. Or LinkedIn to engage in the conversation. So I'm going to be introducing my guest shortly in the person of Winifred Kotin. She is a tech entrepreneur. She's a tech and innovation expert. She's an entrepreneur. She's done some pretty amazing work. And I think that she'll be telling us a little bit about that soon. She combines the power of innovation, data, AI to scale, digital solutions and also for transformation solutions. She is also, interestingly, she is also a counseling and guidance professional, helping people to start a career in technology. So if you're looking for a way to start a career or transition in any way, Winifred is the person to talk to. And I think that how apt it is for her to be joining us on the topic for today's discussion, what we're talking about, why women should engage or to pursue a career in technology. So as the CEO of Abeyie Innovation Studio, I'm excited to have women in technology to engage in this conversation. So I'm going to bring her on just to start the conversation, and welcome again everyone joining us from all over the world. Hello, Winifred. Welcome to Focus and Interact.
Hello. Hi. Hello, Joy.
Yes, I
And
can
hello
see
to the
your
whole
face.
world.
Yes. Thank you for coming on the show today. Thank you for honoring our invitation. We're excited to be talking about why women should pursue a career in digital and technology. I think that it's very important. This year's International Women's Day theme captures, I think, that the way we feel about encouraging more women to pursue or to enter into the space of STEM. And so we're happy to hear your thoughts and your ideas about your journey so far. But before I actually get into the questions that I have actually prepared for you, one of the things I was thinking about was how has been your impression of the International Women's Day that just passed? What were your highlights? What were the things that you heard that excited you about the progress and what women are doing in this space?
Thanks, Joy. So I think that day was very busy for me. I had two events I had to attend, and they were all really great. Um, some of the key things or themes that run across both of them was the power of tech and technology and why women should be looking at them and especially using them as a means of equalizing the playing field when it
Yeah,
comes to the world of work and also
yeah.
achieving empowerment, especially economic empowerment. So for me, those conversations were quite interesting. What I actually do hope is that they are not just conversations, but they
Mhm.
translate to actions. And indeed, we have transformation in the lives of several women. I also saw a lot of enterprises and organizations brought in a lot of women who were actively providing services or leading or creating innovations in the space of STEM in general. and then
Yeah.
also contributing their own in their own ways as different spaces. And I think that usually helps to motivate and inspire a lot of especially younger women and younger girls, because sometimes in your environment you don't really see anyone who looks like you. So on
Mm,
days such as International Women's Day, you get the spotlight is on women and contributions of women to economic activities, and that is quite helpful in terms of inspiring others to see that it's possible and it can be
mm.
done. And it is not just a few women who are in the space. There are so many thousands of women in Ghana who had the opportunity to be showcased and celebrated. So I think I was very excited about that.
Yes, yes. I'm also very excited, and I share in your excitement because I remember even seeing on LinkedIn, published by one of the tech companies in Ghana, a list of women in Ghana who are into the space of innovation and technology, and the list was endless. So there's more and more example. There's more room for people to join in, and I think that today's conversation would actually cement or deepening the reasons why women and girls should pursue careers in this space. Okay, so Winifred, tell us about what got you here. What has been your journey? How did you actually start a career in technology, in digital, in innovation?
Okay, so I think fortunately for me, everything kind of aligned perfectly when it needed to align. So,
Mm,
whilst I was still young in secondary school, it would naturally I would have been considering career options at the
mm,
end of secondary school, and I was a teenager. I can't really remember how old I was, but I saw technology in action the first time in a chemistry lab. And immediately I saw that, I was very, very excited. It was a computer aided titration exercise and experiment. So when I saw that, I was blown away. I
mm.
couldn't imagine something that looked like a TV with activities,
Yeah.
inputs externally and then some actions internally. Because I'd seen a television then. This was in the 80s, so just in early 90s. Sorry. I'm sure people who are watching would be wondering, what is she talking about? But I know some people were not even born by then. So I saw that, I was quite fascinated, and I just knew that this is exactly what I wanted to do, because it's kind of fitting to the kind of person I am. So I am a natural problem solver, very innovative. I like efficiency. I like to ensure things get done and gets done properly and excellently. So when I saw the computer in action, I just knew this is exactly what I wanted to do. So
Yeah.
fortunately, I had a lot of support back home when I told my parents about it, and I was able to continue pursue a degree in computer science,
Mm,
and done so many things in the space. From started off in support, went
yeah.
on to do software engineering. And I've done so many things over the past 18 years. So I think for me, my journey started out of pure passion and interest. And
Mm,
that's what has sustained me all this while. And I continue to do more, innovate on my capabilities and how I'm able to use this knowledge and expertise to serve others. And I know the sky is the
yeah.
limit.
Mm, absolutely, absolutely. Could you tell us about what you're doing now? What are you doing in the space of technology, innovation, any exciting projects you're working on, and how are you seeing yourself transform in the next few years?
Okay, so currently there are a number of engagements I have. So I have a partnership with other co-founders, and our company is called Superfluid Labs. And what we do is that we empower enterprises to unlock opportunities from data and AI. So we have digital. We've done a lot of technology services and solutions, and it has generated a lot of data over the years. So, for instance, we are here interacting, we are engaging, and we are leaving a lot of digital footprints all over the place called data. For businesses, what we
Yeah.
do is that we enable them to harness the advantages of data and AI to develop creative solutions and services that allows them to unlock more value from the market. So, for instance, some of the offerings we have is around helping business offer credit solutions based on available data on their customers. So there are traditional lending businesses like banks that offer loans, but there are also a lot of businesses who need to be able to trust their customers and allow them to have services or products on credit or based on some payment terms. When that happens, how are you able to tell which customer is ideal
Right.
or for the service or who would behave properly when you offer them some kind of terms, payment terms? And that's where we come in. So we provide analytic solutions and using AI to also help profile customers, take advantage of their historical data, and help businesses to be able to trust them for services on credit or products, access to products on credit. And we also provide a lot of other use cases when it comes to the data analytics space and leveraging existing data either internally within the company or accessible to them in the market so that they can make better strategic decisions. In business, the core function of the leadership of any entity is to direct how the entity goes. Which path should you be treading? How should you be making decisions? Which activities would return the greatest value to you as a business? And the answer, a lot of the time, also sits within their data.
Yeah.
But without the analytics capabilities, you'll not be able to tell trends, you'll not be able to predict future occurrences. And that's where we come in. So we provide these capabilities for strategic decision making purposes, provide intelligence platforms so that people can make better and more accurate decisions when it comes to leading and directing their businesses. And then on the last one, we also provide capacity building when it comes to how to take advantage of data and
Yeah.
analytics. Because it's also a new field, a lot of enterprises want to harness it, but the knowledge is not available. So we also do training and capacity for enterprises that are looking to take advantage of data and the power of data to continue to grow and enjoy astronomical returns on their business activities.
Yeah. I mean, that's incredible because right now they say data is the new gold, and I think that it's not just a saying. It's very powerful because as a leader, if you are able to understand your metrics, understand where your organization is going, automatically you can make that this conversation is kind of like starting on this foundation that people understand that the reason. I had a question from a lady after last 2 week session, and she said, "So are you saying that we should all stop pursuing digital?" That was her question, and I would like to just throw that to you to say, I mean, should we just all pursue a career in digital?
I'd say no, not at all. It's rather embrace digital into whatever it is you are doing. So for some people, we would definitely be in the
Hmm.
full profession of tech. And for others, it will be application of technology to
Yeah.
enable them expand what they do, achieve greater efficiency, be able to deliver services at speed, be able to reach more greater audience. So, for instance, we are engaging today, but we are available online so that several other people who are not physically present with us are able to engage this conversation we are having. They're able to watch it, they're able to interact, they're able to send their questions. It's the same thing for every other business or activity or discipline out there. So even if, let's say, you are a nurse, I'll have this exciting example. So there was some time I noticed there was a nurse on Facebook, and she kept sharing tips around maternal health and child care for a few months when a child is born. And she was very consistent in sharing her educational and information across. And
mm,
over time, I saw that people started engaging with her. People call her for religious activities to come and share and educate um, new mothers on how to take care of themselves and their babies. Okay, so you see that she's a nurse, but she's applying the power of digital to reach a wider audience, to engage in additional services she's able to provide as a speaker, as a thought leader, as someone who is knowledgeable in the space of nursing, and I'm sure she's doing very well. So that's just how everyone else can enhance what they do. I know teachers who are using the power of technology and digital to teach students who are several miles away from them, and they're able to reach a lot more students
yeah,
beyond the classroom because of the power of digital and because of the
yeah.
power of technology. So when we talk about tech, we are not just saying everyone should come in. I know I'm a career coach. I'm not just saying everyone should come in, but you can come, learn the skills, and use them to do what you're passionate about or what you are already doing.
Mm. Absolutely. That's a brilliant answer. And I'll just follow up by asking, so what kind of careers are we talking about? You know, today we have entrepreneurs, they run their own businesses. But if you're launching a career in tech, what are people looking at? What are the kinds of careers they are looking at? Is it just being an entrepreneur or transitioning into a data analyst? Or, I think that a few tips around what kind of careers are possible, are available for people to think about.
That's a very difficult question to answer because when it comes to career opportunities, as at
Mm,
now, there are over 1,000 opportunities in tech.
mhm,
Okay. And it is very, very, very difficult to actually tell someone that, oh, it should be data science, it should be digital marketing, it should be software engineering, or it should be graphic design, or go into animations,
mm,
because what is required for each of them varies.
yeah.
And the rate of change, I think for me, one of the outstanding facts about careers in tech is the rate of change. So when I started working, whatever it takes, I knew how to do and could
Mm,
do is no more being paid for as at now. I have had to learn and continue to transition year after year after year for the past 18 years of my life. That is to tell you that if someone had told me specifically, oh, learn this or do that, I might have done it, but
mm,
it would have become irrelevant as the innovations continue to happen. And that's
mm,
one of the things about tech. There's nothing static about tech. So, for instance, we have this beautiful backdrop that we are using. It is made by a graphics person. We are using this platform for streaming. It's made by a lot of software engineers and video capabilities that we cannot even tell whether by the end of 2023 would still be the same, or it would have transitioned and transformed. So when it comes to learning or going
mm,
into tech, I usually do a lot of personal one-on-one coaching because it is a highly personalized decision. So I'd use myself, for instance. Naturally, I am a problem
mm,
solver. I'm also very curious, very imaginative. So I when discovered technology, the space that I felt I would thrive in because it was most exciting for me was in software engineering. And I didn't struggle at all in software engineering, even though a lot of people would say software engineering is very difficult, is learning a programming language is quite tough. It wasn't tough for me because it's fit exactly into what I was capable of doing. And then I also had previous trainings on which I could lean into,
mm,
and I continued to learn. So it's more around understanding what would work best for you. But the opportunities are so many that we are not even able
Right.
to be specific, because also there are sometimes facts that we need to also consider is that some of the opportunities may not be directly relevant in your market, okay, where you can access a job opportunity or the kind of
Mm.
entrepreneurship service you need or you want to go into, what you want to learn or use the technology capability for is not directly relevant to the market you are in. So that's also another fact that makes the conversation quite difficult, except it is more personalized to an
Yeah.
individual in this case.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because I think for me, I've also observed that one of the most critical skills today is your ability to learn. I went to do a master's in international human resources in a digital age, with an engineer, a telecom engineering background. I find myself in a space of managing people in a human resource space. So transitioning your telecom background to working in the telecoms industry as a human resource manager. Then I transitioned to learn, so what is it in the digital age that human resource experts need to know? And I was blown away by, the sheer volume of digitization that can be applied to the human resource space. You're talking about knowledge management systems, people analytics, gamifications, the list was endless. And so that is where, for me, my passion to actually embrace digitization and, continue to learn and improve in the different spaces that I find myself in. And so I think for what we are saying here is that your ability to easily, teach yourself, apply for a course, do an online course, reassess your capabilities and say, I mean, what is my skill going to be used for today? In the last few months, we've been seeing, the Chat GPT trending, and software developers today who would spend months and hours trying to code or program. Now you can introduce Chat GPT, and you're into AI, so you can tell us a bit more about artificial intelligence. And people, software engineers, like in the last 3 months, some people are no longer going to be paid because then there's an introduction of an improvement. The rate of change, like you said, is really quick. And so as soon as you hit the ground in your career, you're working on something, you need to think about what is next, what can we do to improve. Like Zoom, for example, we're using platforms like Zoom. Every in 6 months, we had a virtual summit in last year October, and I was going to recommend the platform to another organization for their virtual conference. And I went there, checked the features again, and I was like, okay, Zoom has changed now. There are different things that they've added, taken out, pay on individuals. So the rate of change is so fast, so fast. And so I think that it's like you said, it's not just one size fits all, or it's not just okay, you do start with the data analytics or start with this, but assessing your strengths, one, leaning into your comfort zone, leaning into what you're good at. Because I think from what you said, because you're good at problem solving, it came easy to you. Because today there's so many courses on out there that people jump, okay, I want to do something in digital. So they just jump onto a course and they realize that they cannot thrive in that space. So I think that it's key that you lean in into your strengths and then choose a skill that you can develop pretty easily and then train and retrain yourself as you go along. As a career coach, especially helping people start their tech careers, what have you found as the major barriers? What is stopping people, women specifically, from embracing digital careers or moving forward in any space like that?
I think it's absence of knowledge.
Mm,
And whenever there's absence of knowledge, there's fear. So in life, you get more confident when you are more knowledgeable.
Yeah.
about something. So let's say if I was going to, I was traveling from where I'm located to another location, I had to go meet someone. As long as I didn't know that environment, or I don't know that environment, I'll be apprehensive. But if I am familiar with the environment I'm going to, or I have a map on my phone that is giving me directions and keeps saying, oh, turn left, turn right, telling me that I'm on the right course, which is what the digital maps we have today provide for us. It gives you more confidence. You don't feel lost. So for me, one of the reasons why I also got into the space of career counseling and coaching, which I've been doing for a while now, for 5 years now, is because we need to demystify technology for people. We need to be able to help people learn about the opportunities there and not be scared and find the best fitted path for them. So for me, the key thing is the main reason is fear, and
Mm.
the fear is coming from the knowledge that doesn't exist.
Mm. Okay, absolutely. So what do we do? Like you said, increasing awareness of some of the spaces and demystifying it. What would you advise people do in order to gain, that awareness that they need?
I would say to learn more, to engage with coaches, engage with people who can help you understand, and also to tell yourself it's possible. There are so many people in this space, and they are not different from you. So if others are doing it, it definitely means you can, and you'd also be able to do it. And a lot of people have gone into tech without any specialized and enhanced brains or any extra capabilities. Everyone is the same. Everyone is just regular and normal. Everyone
Mm.
I interact with and meet is also just normal human beings like everybody else we've been through life with. So don't be scared. Speak with the right people, engage with those who know and can help you understand better and can help you discover where the opportunities are for you specifically. I think that's the right. And another thing too, especially on the case of women, is that unfortunately a lot of women historically have not been into the spaces of engineering and some aspects of the sciences. So we've seen a lot of women in medicine, a lot of women in healthcare, but when it comes to other areas of the sciences like engineering, like technology, we haven't seen a lot of women participate in those spaces. I remember there have been several times in my life that people have asked me, how did you know to go into tech? And I just keep telling them, well, it was divine provision, or I was just very fortunate, right?
Mm.
Because I would have ended up in any other sciences, a nurse, a doctor, a pharmacist, any of those things. I'm not even sure I would have thought about engineering
Mm.
particularly, but it's because women have historically not been going into those spaces. Engineering was seen more of as a masculine activity
Mm.
compared to, let's say, being a doctor. It's kind of like really nice and noble and dignified compared to construct being a civil engineer
Mm.
or one of those other engineering disciplines. So fortunately for us, the world has changed. Women are into all spaces as well
Yeah.
too, and are doing well. So I think a lot of women should be encouraged, and girls should be encouraged to also consider this field.
Mm. I mean, as you were talking, well, maybe between you and I, would you say that maybe there's an element of difficulty, maybe with, let's say, engineering compared to languages? Because when you were talking, the sense of the fact that some women would shun away from it because maybe whether it's because it's a man's world or just because maybe there's an element of difficulty in maybe programming or coding. What would you say about that?
Um, Difficulty is relative. So
Mm,
I would say difficulty is relative, and difficulty is also a spectrum of
mm,
very difficult and least difficult. What makes why you'd say something is difficult is purely based on you.
mm,
One, your mindset. Two, the notions you have, which may be wrong perceptions. Or three, because of what you have previously exposed yourself to or you are able to handle. So I would say that when it comes to saying a discipline may be difficult, there are several things that would let it be difficult or not be difficult. So, for instance, if we talk about something like communication and language, it's also difficult. There are a lot of people who can't communicate. There are a lot of people who can't even talk in public, right? You would have assumed communications was easy, but it is not. So, for instance, when I got started into entrepreneurship, I've had to talk so much more than I ever did. Especially when I was a software
mm,
engineer. Honestly, I didn't talk so much. It was quite easy for me because it was just me and my PC and my code. But I worked all nights long. I was very happy, and it was within the space I was most comfortable in, right? But when I started transitioning out of software engineering, I did a lot of digital transformation where I had to work with other stakeholders to harness digital for their business growth. So, for instance, when I was working in banking, I had to work with a lot of teams, retail banking, commercial banking, corporate banking, to understand the kind of services they are customers needed, and
yeah.
then see where we could create and deliver solutions, digital solutions that met the needs of their customers. And it meant interacting with a lot of business leaders within the organization and also interacting with their customers. Okay, I
Mm,
had to be going around, traveling all over the place, understanding the needs of their customers, and that's bordered around conversations and
mm,
communications. You see,
yeah.
so I had to learn that skill because initially it wasn't something my members and I would just have our regular conversations, and it was pretty simple. I mean, just 10 of us. But now you had to be talking to over 50 people at a
Yeah.
time, and also do a lot of training and capacity building so that people could use the technology solutions you had developed. And what I want to say is that it works both ways. So
Mm,
whatever skills you don't previously have trained or honed yourself in, it's difficult for you. So what you may consider, maybe for you, you speak quite easily with clarity, eloquently. So you think speaking is easy, but
mm,
I can tell you speaking is difficult for some people. And in the same way, if you are really great at mathematics, abstract concepts of mathematics, you may think that everyone should be able to understand mathematics, but it
mm.
is easy for you and difficult for another person. So I really liked what you said earlier and what we've discussed, learning and demystifying and getting support whilst you learn and acquire these skills is really what is needed and
Mm.
most critical.
Okay. Thank you for wrapping that point up. So, why should I think we've mentioned a couple of things. One of the things you also mentioned was scalability. So, if you're an entrepreneur, you run a business. Maybe it's a product you're making in your small business. Being able to embrace technology or digitization, for example, putting your product on e-commerce or being able to know how to use the fintech space can help you scale up your businesses. This point and what other points would you say is important for us to note as the reason why we should get into a digital career? Because my understanding, a career is not a job. A career is on the long haul. So you're starting from somewhere today, but you're looking at, okay, from here I can transition into another space or I transition another space. But from now, what would you say is the reason why more women should come on board? I mean, we have
Okay,
you
I
doing
think the
amazing
first
things.
is I think it's an opportunity to earn a decent living. That's the first thing I would say. So everyone looks forward to an opportunity to have a job and to earn an income.
Mm,
And the need for digital skills and the need for technology skills is far, far, far greater than the the supply we have. So meaning there's a gap in the market.
mm,
So if there's a gap in the market, it means people are paying for those skills. A lot of demand exists for those skills. As I speak now, I have a entities or companies that have reached out to ask if I know someone in that space. So I'm still looking for women who have some technical skills because some companies I know are asking, do you know someone who can provide the skills with a job description? And it's been quite difficult for me. I've been talking to a few people for a while now, and I'm not able to find the skills. So if there were more women in that space, the companies that are being conscious about equalizing the playing field for women who are saying, I'm looking for a woman who can do ABCD in
mm,
tech, they would have found these women and engaged them, employed them. Okay, so one is an opportunity to make decent living, good income, and
yeah,
and also contribute your expertise. So that's the first reason. The next reason is also because digital skills also provides us with the opportunity to innovate. Okay, when it comes to innovation or creating new things, most of the time there's a bias for the person creating it to create it from their perspective or from their viewpoints only. So I'll give an example. So if we take how we change car tires, whoever or the team that created the car changing mechanism obviously were men because
mm,
it's a very it's something that is very masculine. You need a lot of muscle power to do it. If it was women, I'm sure, and now we've seen that there are even different types of services or solutions that have been created in that respect. It's only because women went in there and realized that this is not something we have the biological ability to do. So they had
yeah,
to create a solution that met the natural state of a woman's body, right? So if it's the same way for technology, there are a lot of biases in solutions that will not exist if women were also part of the teams that created them, or if those innovations were driven by
mm,
women. And as women, there are still a lot of challenges women have, which we have not been able to solve because we are waiting for someone to solve them for us. And it will not be possible if we don't get in there to innovate and solve for them by ourselves. So, for instance, I was speaking with someone and I noticed that most of the time for career women, when it comes to family, having children,
yeah,
care of children and managing with regular work is very, very difficult. The working hours, the requirements of domestic and parenting
yeah,
needs are so difficult for several women, reason for which some women actually stop working so that they can focus fully on the family needs at a point in time. Now,
mm,
imagine a world of work where flexibility was possible, where people could come in and work within specific hours and be compensated for the hours of work they put in. It would have been easier for a lot of women who have had to make the huge sacrifice between family and work to stay engaged within the period, right? I know this may sound controversial, but at the end of the day, the employers are losing skills and
mm,
expertise because the women have had to leave the workforce. Okay, but if we had systems created in such a way that these expertise or these good brains that are not fully being harnessed in the
Yeah,
domestic settings could still be an advantage to an employer who needed the skills. It would have worked well for everybody, but because the world of work was designed and created initially by men, because when we moved from the traditional farming and that culture
yeah,
to creating work as we know it today, it was done and led mostly by men. The factoring in of the domestic responsibilities, which was mostly done by women anyway, was not considered. So it means that we need to have a lot more women in these spaces so that we can design the world of work as it also favors women, and also as it favors the additional responsibilities that every good parent, not only women, every good parent should be able to handle. So at the end of the day, we have several reasons for which we need to be there to create solutions that favor us, to take advantage of emerging opportunities, and then also to contribute our gifts and abilities to other people. And also, if you are in business, there's a lot of opportunity for efficiency and enhanced productivity based on digital, which is something we don't talk about. A lot of the time, businesses or women-owned businesses sometimes may limit the use of technology to just social media and marketing. But there's still a lot of opportunities around managing your customer base, which can be done through digital platforms and digital solutions. There's still opportunity for following up, taking feedback, recommending or identifying which products are best selling in your portfolio, and then also following up and recommending additional products or cross-selling additional products, which can be facilitated by digital. For instance,
yeah,
that's how Amazon is able to make and dominate the commerce space, because its uses is highly driven by digital and powered by AI. So they're able to continue to dominate the markets they serve in, and the industry, and our industry leaders, just by the power of technology. And that should tell us that even as entrepreneurs, there's
yeah.
still a lot of advantages you can harness from digital, and that's why you should learn about it and harness and get to know it.
Wow. Yeah, I mean that those are compelling reasons. For me, I really side with the need part of things. And while when you were talking, another thing that crossed my mind was, is it just the ability, the visibility? Is there enough visibility on women in this space? Or just like somebody who has her computer hiding somewhere as a software engineer, are they, do you see women up front in terms of, raising their hands to take some of these opportunities in organizations? Or do you think the visibility is low?
That's a very packed question, and
Mm,
it's interesting. The visibility is low, and the confidence to pursue opportunities also low. So I think, unfortunately, we've also had our traditional setup being a factor that discriminates against a lot of women, so that the confidence to speak up, to take advantage of opportunities is low. A lot of the time, when women are out there, the feedback has not been too positive for a lot of the time. So most women are afraid to even put themselves out there to take advantage of opportunities, because they are afraid that if it doesn't go well, I'll be heavily criticized. People would make fun of me. I'll be called names. But we all keep learning through our mistakes, and men equally learn through their mistakes. But I most of the time I don't see men hesitant when there are opportunities to be harnessed, or to go forward for opportunities, or to even nominate themselves. But sometimes for us as women, because we are uh, quite mindful of the negative feedbacks that we would receive if things don't go well, or we think we don't qualify, or we feel that we are not good enough, because we've historically been told over and over and over and over again that we are not good enough, or that opportunities belong to men and not to women, and we should focus at home, or focus only on domestic roles. It kind of translates or gets into the space of work. So that's why you see that a lot of women don't put themselves out there
Okay.
much. Okay, sometimes even if you want to put yourself out there, you are afraid that people will think, oh, you are too loud, you are all over the place, you are all, what is happening to you, you are all over the place, you seem to like a lot of attention. So people keep their profiles very low, and invariably it means that other people who would have been inspired by their activities and their actions
Mm-hmm.
don't even get to see them to be inspired to know that
Mm,
it is possible, and other women are doing these things too. So I think those things are things, mindsets that we need to consciously break,
mm,
mindsets that we need to discourage, and we also need to help a lot more women to come out and be kind in our
mm,
feedback, be kind in our comments, be kind in when a woman makes a mistake, because men also make mistakes, and sometimes the way we would provide feedback for mistakes that have been made can
mm,
actually kill the spirit of a woman or a lady, so that she goes into hiding instead of um, feeling that they should continue. And I give this example. So the National Science and Maths quiz is something which has been very transformational
yeah.
in how people have viewed science and the learning of science in the secondary school, and has also drawn a lot more interest into it. But you see that because a quiz is a competitive activity, when you see the girls' schools come in there and they don't do well, you see so much teasing. And a lot of the time, the teasing even boils down to you are girls and you should be supporting the men and not be in the space competing with them. But education is education for
Mm,
boys and also for girls. And this some of these girls actually even come from girls only schools, to tell you that they also deserve an opportunity to participate in this activity. But when they are being teased for not making it to the next round, the comments are really, 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 really terrible. I've observed this over the years, and sometimes I am even marveled when I see the
mm,
comments also coming in from even women. Sometimes the empathy is absolutely zero, right?
mm,
And I wonder, if I had a daughter, how would I feel if she participated in this and their school didn't make it to the next round, right? Because other schools, male schools, also don't make it to the next round, but the level of teasing and comments is very discouraging. Sometimes we even forget we are dealing with children below the age of 18 years. It's very unkind, I would
mm,
say. But these are some of the societal things that we need to discourage if we really are looking to get a lot more people to step out and contribute their abilities and take advantage of the economic opportunities that we need as and the workforce that we need as a nation. We need to change some of the activities and the way we behave.
mm. Wow. Wow. I mean, these are statements that have gone right through, my heart. I'm just thinking about the be kind, because how many people have seen some of these things and just said, you know what, let me just go and do, I mean, why should I put myself out there to be ridiculed? And so I think that this is a very good, session, and then the words that are coming from you to inspire and encourage others, no matter what people say. Um, I mean, I was just watching a video by the Director General of the WTO, before the session. as she was speaking to the CNN on International Women's Day. And she shared a study that said women, the income that women who are exporting their products versus those that are just doing it, in my small corner, I'm not kind of competing on a global level, is 3 times more. So if a woman is engaging, putting herself out there, exporting her products, having an e-commerce platform and serving people in different continents, she's earning almost 3 times more than somebody on a local playing field. Another statistic that was shared by this activist called Malala Yousafzai, she said there's a 30 trillion opportunity by just educating women. And so it speaks to your point around it's not an option. If we want to harness the true value of a team, the society, we really need to hone in everybody. I think about the point you made around the designing of solutions, and I think that one of the things that we shared the last session on Focus and Interact was when it comes to equity, we're talking about it's not the same for everybody, but we give people what they need to actually succeed. And so, if we're designing a solution and you don't bring all the players together in the design factor, you're going to end up creating a solution that doesn't fit everybody. I shared this image during the session and said if we were to create a solution for the different needs in the workspace, we can't do a one size fits all. But this is what equity actually means, that we can design to fit the needs of women, for example. And you were very right around the point that domestic chores and all of that wasn't even considered in a very structural setting. So we have a program at Abeyie Innovation Studio called the She-Rock program. This is where a solution we've designed to bring women on career breaks, up to speed, help them to disrupt the traditional workspace. And we've seen some of them land jobs in digital. Like we're talking about women who were in French languages who are now CRM managers, administrators who are now graphic designers, and they still have their administrative skills. So this time, when you're employing them as a virtual assistant, they are no longer just giving you emails and meetings. They are also helping you to design your artworks and then giving input on how the organization can grow holistically. We've also had researchers who are now doing digital marketing. How good it is when you just give people the chance, train them and empower them with these skills. Now they can use their, like you said, visibility on social media, just the ability to use the internet, to use the tools. It's also part of the digital equity that we're talking about. And I'm just hoping that our listeners who are listening now and those who will be listening to the live recording would be able to pick up some of these thoughts that, wherever you find yourself in your journey, you just need to look at your strengths, look at the things you're good at, and then find somebody who can also help you and guide you. Because if you sit and overthink what to do, I mean, I don't think you would get anywhere. So speak to a career counselor, speak to a career coach, speak to a mentor, somebody who has already started a journey in digital would be so apt for you, to follow. So as we're wrapping up today's conversation, I would want you to share with our audience, where we can find you before, we come up with our closing remarks, where they can find you as a career coach, and then also in terms of tech entrepreneurship and services that you offer.
Okay, so thanks, and also you're doing an amazing job. Congrats on that. So I am Winifred Kotin on LinkedIn and also on Facebook. So if you want to connect on social media, it's Winifred Kotin on LinkedIn and then also on social media. You can also send me an email at sace.techcareers@gmail.com. Ace dot tech tech careers careers at gmail.com. And then we can link up. For our business, we have our website at superfluid.io, superfluid.io. And if you want to engage with our company for data analytics training, for data analytics services, capacity building, or to solve specific problems, then you can engage with us, and we would be very happy to help you harness the gains you've made from digitization and unlock more value from data and AI.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Okay, so Winifred, I'll just give you the last 2 minutes to just conclude. Any thoughts in concluding, just to encourage leaders of organizations who are listening, leaders of agencies, governmental leaders, I mean, leaders of countries who probably would be listening to this recording, and what is it that we need to do as a people to continue to encourage women to take up some of these roles? And what would you say to women, who have been thinking or overthinking this for the last 5 years as to taking their first step into starting their career in digital? Over to you.
Uh, well, I would say that we are in a revolutionary time. The world is changing. Digital and AI is really transforming and changing how we work, how we live, how we grow, how we make money, how we grow our economies. And we don't want to increase the gap between men and women. So we are taking advantage of this opportunity to encourage our leaders to consciously and deliberately ensure that women are part of all activities, all initiatives, all services and solutions, and deliberate policies should be made to encourage the participation of women, especially in the space of digital and technology, and usage of digital and technology in terms of economic activities, so that we would all go to the next stage or phase of our lives on earth together.
Thank you very much. And then I want to just appreciate you for sharing those thoughts with us. Yeah, we have some comments also coming in from some of our social media platforms. Thank you if you joined us, and then thank you if you are going to listen to this, this broadcast afterwards. We just want to encourage you, if you aren't connected to us on social media, check us out on all handles, Abeyie and Abeyie Innovation Studios. You find us all across. We continue to bring you such conversation just to move just to move us forward. We don't want it to be all about speeches. We want it to be about action. And I hope that as you have participated in today's session, you have some pointers to take action, to take the next step in your life, starting your digital career, wherever you are on your journey. And then also, if you are a woman on career break and you're also looking to engage in the community of women in the same space, how to transition back to the workplace, how to disrupt find online jobs, non-traditional job opportunities, you can visit our website, abeyestudios.com/SWN, the She-Rock Women Network, and then join the community, and we'll be here to support your growth. We appreciate you all for connecting with us today and hope to come your way soon with the next edition of Focus and Interact. Winifred, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you, and we wish you the very best in your endeavor and the wonderful work you are doing for women on the continent. All right. So thank you, everyone, and then have the best rest of the day.